Hey, Imperfect Life Insiders. This is Kamira with imperfectlife.com. And today I wanted to discuss with you a topic: 12 things I wish I'd known about grief. So, if this is your first time visiting this channel, hi, my name is Kamira. I am a blogger with imperfectlife.com where I share my experiences navigating life after pet loss. So, there is a special guest post written by CPC Cares. I'll leave a link in the description box below. And these are 12 things I wish I'd known about grief. I know this post very much resonated with me, very much so. And I know many of these 12 things may also resonate with you. So I hope that this video resonates with you and makes you feel validated. So let's just get started. 12 things I wish I'd known about grief. Number one, grief does come in waves. You'll find that after grieving the loss of a pet, you'll have good days and bad days, highs and lows. Your emotions, you may feel like your emotions are all over the place. Just when you think you're having a good day and you're having a consistent, positive day after day, there are less tears, and then all of a sudden, bam, you'll have a day where you have a low point and you'll have the tears flowing or just feel very much down and depressed. So just know that the grief comes in waves and it's a journey. So I would compare it to a roller coaster. But that's number one. Number two, don't feel guilty for feeling, meaning don't feel guilty about having emotions, having highs and lows. Don't feel guilty over, if you had to make the choice of doing euthanasia, just know you had to make a choice, the best way you knew how with the information and resources you had available at that point in time. So don't feel guilty for feeling or having emotions or being able to express those emotions. Don't let anyone make you feel bad for doing so. Number three, take time and remember to talk. I know it's not easy for all people to be able to express themselves verbally, but it does really help. I find it helps to talk it out with, for me, it was talk it out with my family or my spouse. Other people, maybe take time to remember your pet or talk to your friends or other people that are pet parents. Probably is the most ideal thing because they can understand. If you don't have resources available, where in terms of friends or family nearby that are understanding, there are pet hotline resources that you can call on the phone. There's grief support groups in person or online. So those are just different avenues. Take time to remember to talk. I'll be sure to leave a link in the description below for a few pet loss hotline numbers you can utilize if that's something that is of interest to you as well. Number four, laughter is the best medicine. This is applies at any time during your life when there's a pivotal event or happening event. But yeah, just laughter the best medicine, meaning if in a movie or DVD or DVR, a happy show or comedy show, laughter does make you feel a little bit better when you're going through the grieving process. So that's number four. Number five, don't make yourself too busy. It's one of those things when it comes to grieving, you're trying to find mechanisms to cope. And some people find that keeping themselves super busy to avoid feeling those feelings will be helpful, but it actually can have the opposite effect. You don't want to avoid feeling the grief because it's just delaying the inevitable, in my opinion. So that's another one to look out for. Number six, grief doesn't just go away. Actually, I feel like grief is something, it's not something to be avoided, but something to work through and move forward with. Just like with death of a pet or in other people instances, they said death of the child. It's something you never get over, but it's something you learn to live with and work through. So just know that grief doesn't go away, but it does get better with each passing day, and you find a way to find your new normal in your own way and you live through it. You learn to live with it. Number seven, remember, there will be some trigger moments. There will be times where you maybe will see something on TV, see something happen in person. You may see another pet parent with their dog or cat or horse, rabbit, whatever. That will trigger an emotional response. It will trigger a memory for you with you had your pet. So know there will be some trigger moments, and that's completely normal. It may be just viewing someone interact with their pet. It may be you're cleaning up around the house and you come across one of their toys. Or you may be straightening up and organizing and you find an extra cat collar, dog collar, or their leash or something. And it'll be like, oh, I miss my pet. So those trigger memories are normal. So, number eight, don't expect too much of people. This is a good one. Sometimes you feel like people are naturally going to be understanding, sympathetic, and empathetic, and understanding to what your experience is going through pet loss. But the unfortunate reality is, whether it's intentional or not, people will say things that will strike a chord with you in a negative way or come across extremely insensitive. So just be mindful of that one. So that's what when they say don't expect too much of people, understand that not everyone is going to be empathetic to your situation or say the correct or um, proper things to comfort you. That's just a fair warning when it comes to this grieving process. You can check out one of my other videos, 5 things not to say to a grieving pet parent. I'll try to leave a link in the description below as well, so you can check that out as well. Number nine, don't expect too much too soon. Take your time when it comes to grieving. Everyone grieves in their own time, in their own way, and it's not a race. Some people will find that they move forward in the grieving process after losing a pet in a matter of weeks, days. Some people, it may take months or a year or two or longer. So everyone is different. Don't expect too much of yourself too soon. Work through your grief journey in your own way on your own timetable. Number 10, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be angry. These are one of the 5 stages of grief. When you are going through this process, it is completely normal. It's okay, to go through those bouts of anger because you're working through all the emotions. There's, I think it's the stage of denial, the bargaining stage, the angry stage, and finally the acceptance stage. So just know that that is part of the process and that will not last forever, but just find positive ways to work through your anger. If that means going to the gym, boxing, if that means working out, if that means going for a run just to let out your anger in a positive way, just be mindful and respectful of those around you. When it comes to anger, not all the time you can control, but it's helpful to be mindful of what comes from your actions and your mouth. But yes, it is a normal part of the grieving process. It's okay to be angry. Number 11, time does not heal alone. Time does. There's a saying, time heals all wounds. I think it heals a lot. Maybe not every wound, but time does help. I can say, as a person that had lost my heart cat, with time, it definitely does help. It does take, a substantial amount of time to get to a place where you're not crying, there are no tears, and that's okay, but it will happen. And last but not least, 12, don't reach for unhealthy distractions. Like I said before, when it came to working through your grief in a positive, constructive way, You're on a journey to healing yourself and making yourself feel better. So you don't want to utilize tools and resources that will make you in a more detrimental state. So, you don't want to resort to excessive alcohol. You don't want to resort to excessive eating of junk food, because aside from just calories and weight, it does impact your chemical and your state of mind when you ever notice if you go on a sugar binge or eat a lot of sugar, you feel great while you're eating it, and then after you feel like garbage, you feel like, ugh, it's like a crash. So you don't want to make that a habitual thing where you're spiraling and it turns into something more. So not I'm not saying this is just my opinion, and this is not to substitute for any medical advice, but it is just my opinion that when it comes to grieving, you want to reach for healthy alternatives to work through your grief. So, if that means yoga, if that means meditation, going to a spa, reading, going out for a walk, listening to instrumental music just to kind of your mind, if that means reading, if that means volunteering, or going to a support group, calling a pet support hotline. These are all more healthy choices to make versus an unhealthy distraction. So I hope these 12 things I wish I'd known about grief resonated with you. I know one of them, or if some of them, have to have resonated with some of you that have lost a pet. I would love for you to leave a comment below, share your experience. If you want to read this full post that's featured on the blog, featured guest post by CPC Cares, it's a wonderful post. You can check it out more in detail. I will leave a link in the description box below. So until next time, I hope you subscribe, follow me on imperfectlife.com, and for more content weekly. And until next time, take care of yourself and have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.